Good morning, it's Martin from Performance. Got a lovely Volkswagen T6.1 on the dyno today. This is the Euro 6.2 engine running a Delphi DCM 6.2 engine control unit. The 110 brake horse 5-speed gearbox. This came into us, customer brought it in, he didn't tell us or he didn't know. It had been tuned previously. We highlighted that with our dyno run. Obviously a dyno run showed it was making more power than what we did standard, and also the live data log that we did on it showed us someone's been into the ECU and messed around with, and it had been tuned absolutely terrible. The delivery of the power of it, also the fuel in the Lambert, it was running really rich. They're putting way too much fuel in there, accelerating, blocking the DPF filter up. The power delivery, it was absolutely shocking. You know, these vehicles, you spend a hell of a lot of money on buying the vehicles. They're very complex engine control in them to tune them correctly and, more importantly, safely. You know, my advice to customers, and I'm not trying to win work, I'm not interested in money, it doesn't motivate me at all. What motivates me is giving customers correct information, you know. I would highly advise not having them tuned. If you're going to have this standard of tuning and think you're getting a good tune for £250, save your money. Keep your money in your pocket, spend it on your family, spend it on yourself. Do not have your vehicle tuned because it's going to cause expensive problems. If you are going to have them tuned, do research and take them to specialist tuning companies that know what they're doing. You know, there is a lot of tuning companies in the UK that are very good at tuning these. Obviously, we specialise in tuning these. Tuning what we do on these is world leading. Absolutely world leading. We are the world leaders at tuning all the Volkswagen Transporter range, and also all the range of the vehicles what we do custom tuning here at Panel Performance. We'll have a bit of a look at the generic tune. We'll call it a generic tune. We don't know where it was done. We'll have a look at that. Then we've put it back to standard. Then we had to carry out a service regen of the DPF filter because the DPF had high subload, because the generic tune in there, it was throwing way too much fuel in there. It was running really rich Lambert, accelerating the blockage of the DPF filter, which eventually will cause a lot of very expensive problems. So although you think you're having it remapped cheap, you know, you might be giving someone £250 and meet them on the drive, long run it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. So like I said, it's better to save your money, keep it in your pocket, and don't have them tuned. Don't have them tuned if you're going to have them tuned cheap. Get them, if you're having them tuned, do some research and have them tuned professionally. That way it's going to save you money and it's also going to be tuned correctly. So we'll have a look at the dyno graph as it came to us. Don't think it needs much explaining really, that does it? The graph speaks volumes for itself. This is the delivery of power. You know, absolutely shocking. Yes, it's made 155 brake horse, 329 Newton meters of torque. And they have, I suppose they have tried to make it progressive torque delivery, but haven't a clue what they've done here. It's absolutely shocking, really is shocking. We did a software update on it, which means we put it back to 100% factory standard software using the main dealership tool, and then we did a dyno run on it. And even the dyno run of it standard wasn't how we would expect this vehicle to be. It had quite a lot of back pressure on the turbo, meaning it had high DPF subload. That's why we carried out a service regen and DPF filter as well. But this is it back to standard. It's been slightly over what they claim at 110. These Euro 6 engines, they always make slightly over what manufacturers claim. The 1 or 2 brake horse we generally see around about 114. The 110 we see anything from 115 to 120. But this is the power. And you can see it's still a little bit waffy all over because of the generic tuning there, because the DPF filter's blocked, because it was over fueling. And we've got a block DPF filter, and that's why we're seeing the not so smooth power curve, what we generally would do with a standard one of these vehicles. So that is it back to standard. 265 Newton torque, 120 brake horse. We then, like I said, we then performed our service regen of the DPF filter. We live data logged the vehicle. We analysed the live data log to make sure everything was running within its safety limits, safe for the engine, and then we proceeded to custom tuning. Custom tuning vehicles, it's not about what numbers it makes on the dyno, it's about custom tuning that engine. So that engine's perfectly tuned and more importantly, safely tuned. It's got all the protection maps in place, it's got all the EGT protection maps correctly calibrated, so it's safe for the engine. Everything's working OEM as it should do. Our tuning on these really is, we could class it as OEM plus. Yeah, the ECU's working as Volkswagen intended it to, with all the correction, all the protection maps, all calibrated correctly, and then it's got our tuning. So we could really call it OEM plus Pendle tuning, if you like. We'll load our tuning graph up for it now, and we'll overlay it over the standard graph, so you can compare. These do tune up really well. The 110 brake courses, obviously, it's a software down-tuned engine, so they do make for some great gains in both brake horsepower and torque. But with it being a 5-speed gearbox, it's important to tune these correctly with progressive torque delivery, making your peak torque around about 3,000 RPM. And the sweet spot, we're just a bit under that, the sweet spot at 2,000 RPM is 300 Newton meters, so 300 Newton meters of torque. So if you aim for around about 300 Newton meters of torque at 2,000 RPM and then make your peak torque at 3,000 RPM, you've got correct, safe torque delivery for this 5-speed drivetrain on these vehicles. That's a look at the tuned graph now we've made a very impressive 178 brake horse and a really nice, smooth, safe 325. So we've got correct torque for the drivetrain. It's not about making maximum torque, it's about tuning this engine so it's safe for the complete vehicle, the complete engine, the complete drivetrain. And you can see our power delivery, we've got it much better. It will come slightly better than this if he drives it more and more and puts good fuel in it. We have got the SUT load down in the DPF filter, but we've got really nice progressive torque delivery. So that is correct tuning on the T6.1. Like I said, they are a very, very complex engine control unit to tune. I do know that there is people supplying files and there is tuning companies that just flashing files into them, but make no mistake, they are a complex engine control unit to tune. We've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in development of these to do our tuning on it, and our tuning is world leading on these, it really is. The other tuning on there, the generic tuning, it was absolutely terrible. It really was terrible. So, you know, this chap might have thought he was saving money, or he might have thought all remaps are the same. Couldn't be further from the truth. You know, it was going to cause huge, expensive problems to this vehicle down the road. So, like I say, if you are having them tuned, do some research, go to a tuning company that specialises in these, that knows these. There is some good tuning companies around. Yes, we are the go-to place for them, really. I am very, very proud of the work I do. We do put a lot of time and development into doing the job correctly. But if you are thinking of having them tuned cheaply, you know, don't have them done. Keep your money in your pocket, spend it on your family. Don't have them done because you're just going to end up causing expensive problems to your vehicles. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, everyone.